Alright, gentlemen, let's have some real talk today. If you're a man over 60, there's a good chance you've been paying closer attention to your health than you did in your 30s or 40s. Maybe you're starting to notice your body doesn't bounce back as fast, your energy isn't what it used to be, and those morning situations that used to be automatic now take a little more encouragement. That's normal with age. But here's the truth, most doctors don't tell you. A lot of the decline we chalk up to just getting older actually comes down to the small daily choices we make, especially what we put into our bodies. Food is fuel, but it's also chemistry. And when you mix certain foods together, you might be creating reactions in your body that work against you. The scary part, some of these so-called healthy food combinations are actually doing damage under the radar. And that's exactly what I'm going to reveal today. Because if you're a man over 60, there are two foods you should never mix, ever, if you want to protect your circulation, your joints, your testosterone, and your overall vitality. I'm Dr. Julia, and I'm not here to scare you for the sake of it. My goal is to empower you with information, so you can make smarter choices and feel more in control of your body. But you need to hear this warning, because ignoring it could mean faster aging, weaker blood flow, and even putting yourself at risk for problems in the bedroom and the doctor's office. Before I reveal the two foods, let's set the stage. Think of your body as an engine. At 30, you could throw almost any kind of fuel into it, and it would still run. At 60 and beyond, the margins are slimmer. The wrong fuel clogs the pipes, creates buildup, and puts unnecessary strain on your system. That's why so many men feel like they're doing the right things. Eating salads, drinking juices, cutting back on sugar, yet still don't feel the improvements they were hoping for. The truth is, the problem isn't always the food itself, it's the combination. Here's what I mean. You've probably heard that spinach is one of the healthiest foods you can eat, packed with iron, vitamins, and antioxidants. You've also probably been told that dairy is great for your bones because of its calcium content. Both of those statements are true, on their own. But when you combine spinach and dairy in the same meal, something sneaky happens. The oxalates in spinach bind tightly to the calcium in dairy, creating an insoluble compound your body can't absorb. Instead of fueling your bones or boosting your blood, that powerful combo actually robs you of nutrients. You think you're doing your body a favor, but really, you're wasting both foods. That's just one example. And it's harmless compared to the two foods I'm going to warn you about today. The mix I'm talking about doesn't just waste nutrients. It actively works against your testosterone levels and your cardiovascular health. In plain terms, it accelerates the very problems men over 60 struggle with most: weak energy, stubborn belly fat, lower drive, and fading performance. Now here's where most health channels get it wrong. They'll throw a list of bad foods at you without context. But that's not enough. I want you to understand the why, because when you understand the science, the advice sticks. So let's back up and talk about what's happening in your body as you age. After 60, your testosterone levels naturally decline, but diet can either speed that process up or slow it down. Blood vessels stiffen, which reduces blood flow, the key to heart health, brain function, and yes, erections. Your metabolism slows, meaning excess sugar and fat stick around longer, turning into belly fat. And inflammation, that invisible fire inside your body, becomes harder to control. All of this is happening quietly, even if you still feel fine day to day. Now imagine taking two foods that, separately, can be healthy, but when combined, trigger blood sugar spikes, block nutrient absorption, and fuel inflammation. That's what we're dealing with here. And the cruel part is, most men over 60 are eating this combo regularly, often thinking they're making a smart choice. I'll give you a quick story. A patient I'll call Richard, 64 years old, came to me frustrated. He'd cleaned up his diet, cut back on alcohol, and even started walking every morning. Yet he still felt sluggish, his blood pressure was creeping up, and his confidence in the bedroom was slipping. When we looked at his food journal, the problem jumped off the page. Every morning, he was combining two health foods that, together, were wrecking his energy and hormone balance. Once we removed that combo, his afternoon crashes disappeared within weeks, and his lab results improved in just a few months. So, what are these two foods? I'll reveal them in detail in just a moment. But first, I need you to understand the bigger picture. Not all health advice is black and white. Something that looks good on paper can backfire if you don't know the context. And unfortunately, most men don't have the time or patience to dig into nutrition studies. That's where I come in. I've spent years studying how food affects male health, and I can tell you this with confidence. The small daily mistakes matter more than the occasional big splurge. Here's the bottom line for this first part of our talk. If you're a man over 60, you cannot afford to treat your meals like a free-for-all anymore. Every choice counts. The wrong combination can age you faster, while the right choices can give you back years of vitality. And in the next section, I'll reveal exactly which two foods you should never mix, why they're so dangerous when combined, and what you should do instead to protect your energy, strength, and masculinity for decades to come. All right, gentlemen, let's get to the heart of the matter. You've been patient, and now it's time for the reveal. The two foods men over 60 should never mix are tomatoes and cucumbers. Surprised, maybe a little disappointed, because you probably thought I was going to say something extreme like fried food and soda, but stay with me, because the science behind this is both fascinating and crucial for your health. And if you've ever had a salad, which, let's face it, most of us think of as a healthy choice, you've likely combined these two more times than you can count. Here's why that's a problem. Tomatoes are acidic and packed with certain organic acids that stimulate digestion in one way, while cucumbers are alkaline and require a different digestive environment altogether. When you eat them together, especially in large quantities, the body struggles to digest either one properly. Instead of smoothly breaking down, the mix creates bloating, slows absorption, and in older men, it can actually block the uptake of key nutrients your body desperately needs. Nutrients like zinc, magnesium, and vitamin C, all critical for testosterone production and vascular health. Now, I know some of you are thinking, come on, Doc, I've been eating tomato and cucumber salads my whole life. If they were so bad, wouldn't I feel it? And that's a fair question. The truth is, you don't notice the damage immediately. Because it's not like eating spoiled food that makes you sick right away. This is a slow burn. It's cumulative. Over time, the repeated nutrient blocking and digestive stress add up. The result, lower energy, weaker blood flow, and a hormonal environment that makes it harder to maintain muscle, easier to gain fat, and tougher to keep your drive alive. Let's break this down further. Tomatoes are loaded with lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that has been shown to support prostate health and cardiovascular function. Cucumber, on the other hand, is hydrating, packed with silica, and known for its cooling, anti-inflammatory properties. On their own, both foods can play a positive role in your diet. But when you mix them, here's what happens. The acidity of tomatoes interferes with the alkaline enzymes required to break down cucumbers. Your stomach ends up producing excess acid to compensate, which for many men over 60 leads to heartburn, reflux, or digestive sluggishness. But even more concerning is the way this interferes with nutrient absorption. Remember, after 60, your body is less efficient at absorbing minerals already. You need every bit of magnesium and zinc you can get, because without them, testosterone production plummets. And testosterone isn't just about performance in the bedroom. It controls energy levels, muscle preservation, fat distribution, and even mood. So while you might think of a tomato-cucumber salad as a light, healthy option, in reality, for older men, it can set off a chain reaction of digestive stress, inflammation, and hormonal imbalance. To make this clear, let's use a car analogy. Imagine you've got a high-mileage car that needs premium oil and careful maintenance. You wouldn't pour two different types of oil into the engine at the same time, right? Even if both are high quality, mixing them compromises performance. That's exactly what happens when you mix tomatoes and cucumbers. They're both good fuels, but not together. Now, you might be wondering, what's the big deal about a little bloating or nutrient loss? And I get that, but let's connect the dots. Poor digestion, reduced nutrient absorption, lower testosterone and circulation, faster aging symptoms. It's not about one salad ruining your life. It's about the accumulation of small daily habits that either accelerate decline or slow it down. Here's where it gets interesting. Studies have shown that men with higher zinc and magnesium intake maintain testosterone levels up to 30% higher than those with deficiencies. That's the difference between having the energy to play with your grandkids, enjoy your hobbies, and feel strong, versus dragging yourself through the day and quietly losing confidence in yourself. And remember Richard, the patient I told you about. His healthy breakfast was a tomato and cucumber salad with Greek yogurt. On paper, it looked like a powerhouse of nutrition, antioxidants, protein, hydration. But in reality, it was sabotaging him. Once we swapped out the cucumber for leafy greens and paired the tomato with olive oil instead, his bloating disappeared. His afternoon energy crash was gone, and within months, his lab tests showed improved testosterone and better circulation markers. So, What should you do instead? If you enjoy tomatoes, pair them with healthy fats, like olive oil or avocado. That combination actually enhances lycopene absorption, boosting heart and prostate health. If you like cucumbers, eat them separately or pair them with leafy greens, herbs, or yogurt. That way you still get the hydration and anti-inflammatory benefits without interfering with digestion. This is where contrast framing comes in. It's not about demonizing foods. It's about choosing smarter combinations. Instead of tomatoes plus cucumbers equals hidden trouble, think of it as tomatoes plus olive oil equals power combo and cucumbers plus yogurt equals digestive boost. Same ingredients, different results. That small shift can make all the difference in how your body responds. And here's something most men don't realize. After 60, digestion slows naturally. Your stomach produces less hydrochloric acid, meaning your body already struggles to break down protein and absorb minerals. Add in conflicting food combinations, and you're essentially tying one hand behind your back. Why make it harder than it has to be? Now, I'm not saying one salad will ruin your health, but if you've been mixing these two foods regularly, the compounding effects matter. Think of it like compound interest, but in reverse. Instead of small gains adding up to wealth, small mistakes add up to decline. And the best part, once you correct them, your body responds quickly. Many men notice improvements in energy, digestion, and performance within weeks of making this simple change. In the next section, I'm going to go even deeper. I'll show you how this principle of food combining applies beyond just tomatoes and cucumbers, because once you see the bigger pattern, you'll understand how to build meals that actually fuel testosterone, protect your heart, and keep you strong well into your 70s and 80s.